Hello everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to another project for Not2Shabby Shop. Today I'm creating 3 cards using the Happy Haunting stamp set by Paperie Ink. Look at these little cuties. This cat wrapped up in the toilet paper is my absolute favorite, as well as the little dog in the hot dog costume. So I am going to be using all of the images that are in the stamp set today for my cards. No coloring today. I ended up coloring all these images to relax one night watching TV, and with it already being halfway through October, I'm trying to get a few more Halloween cards out for you for some inspiration before it gets too late. So I decided to skip the coloring today and focus on creating the cards. So this background that I'm creating I think is great for any Halloween stamp set you might have in your stash. So I'm using Pumice Stone and Black Soot Distress Oxide ink. Now I'm just blending on my regular 100-pound accent opaque paper. So if I were using the Bristol Smooth, which I don't know why I didn't think of that because it is like a dream to blend on that type of paper. Anyhow, you can see that I'm not getting a perfect blend here because of the paper. It still works, and if you don't want to have multiple types of paper in your craft room, just go ahead and use whatever cardstock you have in your stash. So because that blend was a little bit rough, I just had to be careful because that black soot is so dark. So I was really just kind of laying it down haphazardly anyways, just to get that ink there. And then you can see I'm coming back in with my brush here with the Pumice Stone, and I'm going to blend those two colors together. And I feel like these colors give a really fun Halloween night sky look. So for my card, I wanted the focus to be this spooky fence die from Fawn, and I'm using some old Recollections cardstock or paper that I purchased at Michael's years ago. And it has this really cool rubberized texture. So if I can find a similar product, I will link it down below, as well as all of the other products that I'm using in today's video. But I wanted the fence to be the kind of focal point, as well as the images, obviously, from the stamp set. So that's why I went for the muted background, and I also chose the monochromatic gray look for the lawn as well. So kind of like the night sky is creating a darker shadow where the little puppies and cats are out trick-or-treating. I didn't want to introduce a color for the ground, so I stuck with that gray cardstock. And like I said, I feel like this type of background would work for any Halloween card that you were making. So hopefully it provides a little bit of inspiration even if you don't have this particular stamp set. So the Paperie Ink is a newer company to be carried in the Not2Shabby Shop. They have the sweetest images. This is the first time I'm using a stamp from the company. It most likely will not be my last. Look at how cute these look, all colored up. So the stamp will be listed below, and I will link to all the Paperie Inks at Not2Shabby. And if you do make a purchase, you can use coupon code N2S10 and you can save 10% off your purchase. So that's always great. And I believe Jamie also has a shipping deal going on as well. So be sure to check out all of the information on the website. So here you can see I have all the images colored. So I used a lot of brown tones for the cats and the dogs, some warm grays for the white areas, and then also my cool grays to create a black kitty cat. I thought that would pair well with the white toilet paper. And then I kind of made that little dog holding the treat bucket like Snoopy, because that's what he reminded me of. So I thought I would zoom in here once I got that first little character down, or critter, so you could see what I was doing a little bit better here. So for the little kitty to the right hand side, I'm going to put a lollipop, and I did switch out. Originally I had the purple one there, but I switched it for the green just because she was carrying a purple little treat bucket, so just to kind of balance out that color. I also decided to add 3 of the pumpkins. I really liked the pop of bright orange kind of throughout the layout here. I just thought that that created a cohesive look across the card. This is a slimline card, which measures 3.5 by 7. I always do that. 3.5 by 8.5. So for the landscape, I used a die from Trinity Stamps, and then the actual panel with the stitched detailing is a Heffy Doodle Slimline die. So there's lots of companies coming out with these Slimline products. I am loving creating them. As you can see here, I got on a number of the images from the stamp set, which I love because you don't have to pick and choose with the Slimline. It just gives you so much real estate to create some really fun scene cards. So here I'm just playing around with the placement of where I want this little white kitty witch and the little dog dressed up as the hot dog, which I think is hilarious because it's kind of reminiscent, I'm sure, of a wiener dog. I think that's probably what they were going for. But what I also like about this stamp set is two of the cats, the one with the toilet paper and then the kitty cat where I put the witch hat on, you could use those any time of the year. I mean, I think the cat with the toilet paper you could use for kind of the whole COVID related thing and the toilet paper scarcity, so that could be really cute. You could pair it up with some more generic sentiments and it would work great. And then you have the other little kitty as well that you can use throughout the year. So I love when holiday stamps give you a little bit of versatility. So to finish off this card, I stamped the sentiment Happy Haunting. There's a number of sentiments in this stamp set, which I thought was really great. I'm bringing in my black glaze pen and my white gel pen, and I'm going to add the black glaze pen to the eyes and the noses of our little puppies and cats, and then adding some highlights with the white gel pen. Of course, adding a little bit of glimmer here with my Spectrum Noir glitter pen. And this is the clear glitter, and it adds so much shine to your cards. So there's the first card done. Moving on to the second card, I had a bunch of images left, so I thought I would do simple ink smushing backgrounds here. Now, I knew better. I don't have a lot of luck when I dip my paper onto the watered down Distress Oxide ink. This one is the Carved Pumpkin, and I sort of knew this wasn't going to work out for me. As soon as I tapped that first one to my glass mat there, I don't know, some people can get great control and it looks fantastic. I have better luck with what I'm doing here. So this is just a little plastic bag. I actually use these to store my colored images in. So I had this on my desk and I find that I can get way more control. I think I just had a little cat hair there. See me trying to wipe something away. But I find to get way more control with the little baggies. So that is a tip if you have trouble with the ink smushing technique. I'm going to let that one dry and then I'm going to move on to my second background. So for this one, I'm using the Wilted Violet color. That's the purple. And then the Twisted Citron, which is a bright green color. And I'm going to use this little plastic bag again. For this one, I'm just going to concentrate the colors kind of at the top of the card, trying to get it sort of centered, but that green went a little bit further than I expected to the right hand side, but in the end it's fine. It's just meant to be really abstract. So for the orange card, there's these 3 little mice in the pumpkins, which are so cute. So I colored all 3 of those up and I'm going to put them on this card. I did decide to add some foam adhesive to them just to add a little bit more interest. So I'm putting the largest one in the center and then the 2 smaller ones on either side. And then I'm going to bring in the sentiment that says, "Hey Pumpkin." And I'm going to stamp that. I wasn't quite sure where I wanted it at first, but I decided to go to the top right of the little mice here. And I feel like that kind of breaks up that big blob of color. I'd thought about starting over with this one, but then I just kind of embraced that big smush of orange and really went with how it turned out. I feel like with ink smushing, you just have to embrace what you're going to get because you never know what you're going to get, and it's going to look different every time you do it. So I didn't want to waste that cardstock, so I just went with it. And in the end, I think it looks just fine. So for this second card, I'm using the little black cat, and I added a purple witch's hat, and then I'm going to have her standing in front of the pumpkin. So I just popped up the cat and adhered the pumpkin down with my liquid adhesive. And my favorite sentiment in the stamp set is, when black cats prowl and pumpkins gleam, may luck be yours on Halloween. So that's the sentiment I'm going to use for this particular card. I'm just using my Versafine Clair Nocturne ink, which is my favorite black ink for stamping sentiments. I did stamp this a couple times, seeing the Distress Oxide ink wasn't entirely dry. It had dried quite a bit, but typically with the Versafine Nocturne ink, you can get a great impression on the first stamp. So I decided to add a little bit of embellishment to these cards. These are fairly clean and simple cards. They're easy to reproduce, so I wanted to spruce them up a little bit with some Trinity stamps. These are the Halloween Cupcake Sprinkles mix, and these are from last year. I'm not sure if they're still available. If they are, I will link them below, but I'm sure they have some new Halloween mixes if they don't have this current one. Trinity Stamps has some of the best sprinkles and confetti and sequins out there, so I would encourage you to visit their shop if you are one who likes sequin mixes and all that fun stuff. So I decided to use 3 orange hearts for the pumpkin card, and then I added some of the purple and kind of like that lime green star for the card with the little kitty cat on it. And of course, again, just finishing off with some of my black glaze pen and the white gel pen there for some highlights. I pretty much do this to all of my cards. I just love the look they give. I decided to give the little kitty some freckles as well. So here's a close-up of these 2 simple cards that I made, and then I'll slow this down and show you all 3. So there's the Slimline, and our little black cat, and then our pumpkin mice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I will see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.